Hey everybody, morning, channel members. Craig, Donald, Ivan, Don, Kevin, Arturo, Sergio, Will, David, Gary, Dan, David, Skaggs, Mark, Terry, Diane, Cliff, Pauline, Ted. Goose said he's going to the dentist, so he won't be here. I bet you Sledge will tune in any second. Hey, other Ted. Howdy, everybody. Thanks for being channel members. And for my just normal subscribers like Rosalind, Merle, Diana, welcome to the stream. Probably not as exciting today. We don't have any kind of big, crazy flush out in the market. Looks like everything kind of calming down. Are we at the point where we can just like take it easy? Or is there still a possibility of going lower low? We're going to take a look at that all here. Hey, Rongamer. Hey, Svenborn. General Rush. Good to see you, sir. Joy out there enjoying sunny California. And welcome, everybody. Mary, Valerie, Andreas. Hey, we survived. We survived so far. But the risk is not done yet. I was talking to Rongamer last night at the scout meeting. This is very, very important, the next little bit here. This will tell us whether we're going back to the highs or we're going down to the lows. To new lows. Epic lows. I mean, we're talking the potential to go down to 1200 is on the charts here. All right. Before we get into all that, though, let me flip this over. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments. If you desire that personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor, which is not what I'm doing. So basically, don't trade stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries, unless you're willing to accept the risks, because there's a substantial risk of loss. Anytime you trade any of those things, even the treasuries, you could lose money. Haven't seen it yet, but you know that day's probably coming sometime. I either grew or my screen like let down slightly because I can't see the top of the screen when I'm just sitting here. Anyway, all right. Calendar. We've got the FOMC minutes coming out tomorrow. Minutes. Do the minutes even matter anymore? Like what was then and now? I'm not even sure that what applied back then and still applies now, but we'll see. They typically move the market a little bit, so it's potential we get some market moving, whatever, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Now, Delta, the trade I was talking about yesterday, Delta Airlines, those earnings come out tomorrow morning. So we'll have to watch out if you took that trade. I got fills at 20 cents for the ones I put on pre-market. And then the ones I added after the market was open, I got 30, I don't know if it's 30 or 35 cents. And I put on quite a few of them. It seems like a pretty high probability trade. There's not really any news catalyst to drive us down. Now, I say that, but look right here. What could reach out give me? That could reach out give me right there. Who knows what the fudge he's going to say. You never know. He loves to get out and speak. He loves to be in the public. He was the number one. Think about this. Think about this, man. He was the number one reality TV show host. The number one. His show, The Apprentice, was number one. It set all sorts of records that haven't been beat. Think about that a minute. He loves to be in the public spotlight. So, just think about it when he says stuff. And, he said the quiet part out loud, as I talked about yesterday about the tariffs. He's trying to force Jerome Powell to cut rates, but it's not working. So what's the backup plan? Anybody know what the backup plan to cutting rates is? There's a backup plan. It's a much scarier backup plan. I've kind of pieced it together a little bit. Hot war in the Middle East. Hot war in the Middle East seems to be the backup plan. We've sent like 300,000 troops already over there. We've sent a whole flight of B-2 bombers over there. We've sent 2 carrier strike groups over there. This is not, it's not making mainstream media news. At least I haven't seen it being, frontline headline. Everybody's focused on these tariffs. Nobody's really focused on what's going on over there that we're doing. What happens if the Middle East oil shuts down? I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. I don't know. Weeks are happening in days, it seems like. So be careful out there. We could see Middle East oil shut down. What does that do? What does that do? So, yeah, General Rush in the chat agreeing. So this is the risk, all right? Like, could this drive rates down? It's entirely possible that it does. All right. So, we're not discussing the fallout of what happens. We're just like, what can push the rate? Like, this is a $7 trillion problem. 1/3 of, virtually 1/3 of the debt needs to be refinanced this year. They need the lower rates to make it work in their budget, in their plan. How do they get the rates lower? Now, coming up on Thursday, we have CPI. It's a risk, all right? It's just a risk. I'm not saying it's going to happen. This is a risk in the market. You wonder what can happen next? I'm just throwing things out there. There's some stuff happening. All right. Supposed to go meet with Iran on Saturday and discuss whatever. See what happens. So Thursday, Friday, got CPI and PPI. They pushed out retail sales. This is another one. Like last month, retail sales came in a little funky. They changed when it came out. This month, they pushed it out even further to Tuesday, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right there. So next week on Tuesday. Now Friday, we also get financial earnings kicking up. JP Morgan and Bank of America. All those financial earnings start kicking off on Friday. Ramp up next week. Really ramp up the week after that. Rongemer goes to Austria, so he won't be able to do anything about Tesla until he gets back. So we'll see what happens there. Just poking fun at you, man. Anyway. All right. That's the calendar. That's what we got. That's the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. SWOT analysis on the market. What do we got? What do we got? Where can we find some opportunities? So looking at the S&P 500 overnight, like I said, this is a market where weeks of price action happen in moments. Yesterday we were seeing 70-point candles in less than a minute. Less than a minute we saw. I was watching this stuff. I think it was this one right here. Went from 5,000. I think it was that one. Is that right? No, it was this one over here. What's this one? This candle right here. Look at this baby. We went from 5,000 all the way up to 80-point candle. And it took it right back in 5 minutes. That it went up. It was like 20 seconds for it to pop from 5,000 up to 50, 80. You got to be careful in this environment right here. You can lose your money. And right over here, we had giant moves. Giant moves. This was supposedly fake news. And really it was what it was. Somebody was being interviewed and they were doing a mic check and they turned it on live and it sounded like he was answering yes to a question that was being asked, but he was actually answering yes, he can hear. And the market took it and ran with it. And Reuters published it immediately. And then the White House denied it. And chop. Now, from a price action standpoint, this is where it gets really dangerous. And I'm very serious right now that things might not be as clear as it seems. All right, like even this whole thing. Got to talk about the potential here. So we made a move up, Right, we made a low. And I deleted all these and they came back, and that's cool. Let's just switch charts really quickly and go to a clean chart where I can just draw on it and clean this baby off. Jump down the 1 hour. That's cool. I love that. Figured out how to get rid of that blue crap. All right. Now this was all very fast here. We made the low right down here. We made a move up, a retrace. Look at this. Now, anybody that's been with me for a little while, this high and this low, that's overlapping. All right. So this low to that high was only like a 3-wave-ish type move. Corrective. Not awesome. So this was either a 1, 2, 3 up, retrace, and a move up. You'd be like, well, you know, anomalies, blah, blah, blah. It all counts. All right. There's no price action that doesn't count. So this at this point looks like a first move up. This looks like a move up right here. We did a 618 retrace right there. All right, this is starting to look a lot like that's the 0 point, that's the A, that's the B, and we're possibly going to make a C right up here. Do I want this to happen? Not really. Just what it looks like it might happen. Yes. And it's possible this extends all the way up here. Right up in this danger zone right here around 5,400. And we get another leg down. Lower low. Anything lower than that low right there counts as the lower low. Just warning you right now, be very, very, very careful. All right. What could get us? I don't know. FOMC minutes. Bad reaction to that. We're still in a corrective. We're still correcting this big epic drop. Now, we're going to have to zoom out a little bit to discuss what we've got going on here. I'm going to erase some numbers or erase some fibs and labels. This move down, switch. This move down was a 1. This move up was a 2. This move down was a 3. This, wherever we top out right here, maybe a 5,400, a 4, that leaves us with a 5 right here. First move down off of the 4. It would look best if we stopped out, stopped anywhere right in here, but we may rally on up to 5,400. And then we get an extension down like this. Now, everybody thinks that's probably pretty bad, right? That's what we've probably got to look forward to the rest of this week, probably into next week, possibly into next week. Now the theory of alternation, usually the duration of the 2 and the duration of the 4 are not equal. Usually you get a fast 2, typically we get a fast 2, and we get a slow 4. 4 usually lasts longer than the 2. How much longer? Usually 3 to 5 times longer. Where does my 3 to 5 times come from all the time? So 13 bars. So 3 times that would be 39 bars. So we may not make it to that wave 4 level till we hit 39 bars. That would put us somewhere out here, roughly later today. Maybe early tomorrow morning. So somewhere in here, we could top out early today, maybe later today, maybe tonight, tomorrow morning, and then we end up down here again. All right, this could extend on out to later in tomorrow. Actually hit the 4-hour roadmap line. See, 2s and 4s tend to hit the roadmap line. It's another thing coming up here. 2 kind of hit, and 4 can potentially hit. And that went really fast. So we may have a drawn out C wave. Just warning you. These are the signs. Now, what do we need to see to confirm we're going higher? A break back above this little guy. Now, I was warning about this little guy being very important. It is very important overnight. This little guy right over here, the bottom of that one, is the more important level at this point. If we get above that, odds are we're done on the downside. As long as we're below that, we can still go flush down for another fifth wave lower. Important point here. Very important point. I'm watching this like a hawk. But that's not even the bigger problem here. All right, so that's the important price right there at 55.40, roughly, whatever the low was right there. This shows up on SPX too. All right, the low right here, it's right on that one from Monday, March 31st. That low, right around 54.90, that's the one to watch on the cash. All right, everybody clear? Get above it. Probably not going to make the fifth wave lower. As long as we're below it, that's a lot of air down here. Still make a lower low. How low? Possibly as low as 4,600. Now, that's all well and good. This is probably this is nearing a completion. All right, this is probably an A wave, a B wave, and this is probably the C wave wherever we bottom out. Anything lower than this low can complete it, possibly down to all the way to 4,600. Now, what happens next is we're going to rally. We're going to come up off this low. We don't have the low in place yet, but if we assume, and assuming makes a out of you and me, we get this zone right here. That's the danger zone. Now, it just happens to be the same, that invalidation level. If we come up here, this is what's very important right now. This can either be an A wave down or a wave one. This move right here from the from the low to the 618 level, that's the ideal. That's why it's in pink. If you're new here and you're completely lost, it's okay. This will be a B or a 2. How do we distinguish between the two? And this will happen in a 3-wave fashion, possibly, because that's a B wave or a 2. They're both corrective. I expect a 3-wave move up right here. Either way. All right. Now the distinguisher on this. If we're going to do an impulsive move down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is possibly, it could possibly be a wave 1 also right here. All right, wave 1, like if this was the whole correction, then wave 1 off the low, it still could be corrective. It'd probably be an A, actually, not a 1. Probably be an A. We get a B wave down. If it's 3 waves here, 1, 2, 3, we're probably going higher. Probably back to all-time highs. If we get a 5 wave here, we'll get a 3-wave retrace. That's a crash setup bigger than this right here. So this correction off of this level is key right here. This correction after we get up here, you set your alerts 5,600. The next correction we do, if it's 5 waves down without overlap, whatever pullback we get, we're getting ready to flush that baby hard. We're talking about potentially 1,618 times that move right there. This is where you can make a lot of money really fast. This is the level we could be going to if we turn down from right there. And then we'll do a 4-5. That's if this is a 1. That's a 2. This would be the 3, the 4, and the 5. And this would probably just be the A wave. And then we're going to do a long B wave back up over here somewhere. And then we'll do a C wave. That'll be even more vicious. Probably some number of years out. Now, the alternative is the same targets I've been talking about. If we do a corrective off this level, back down in here, turn back higher, break back above here, we're likely to be going right up there. Then we start this whole thing again. Do another one of these over here. Volatility. Volatility, all right? So this correction off of this level, this move from here to here, you can make some money, like 10, 15%. If we go back down lower, time to buy. We're not going to crash more than, like, there's high probability right now, as long as we're under that low from right there, as long as we're under that low, like 85%, we're probably going to go visit the lower low. All right, the waves in place here, this looks like a 1, 2, 3, all the way down into the low yesterday at the open. Very, very much like a 1, 2, 3. It got way past any kind of expectation, but that's kind of how the downside works. Usually gets a little big. Now, looking at it a little tighter, here's the top of the 2, here's the bottom of the 3. We're in the zone right in here. We're in the zone to top out and come back down. This is very important right now. We're in the vicinity of where we can top out and take another trip back to the bottom. Now, looking at the weekly chart, if anybody's got questions, you can ask me. Like, that's what I'm here for. Anybody surprised that we stopped right there? The problem with this just being it is that when you look at the internals of this move, it's missing the last little bit. Doesn't have to happen. Could have happened in the, the Saturday, Sunday market closed action. Possibly could have happened, and we just not see it on the chart. But right there might not be the low yet. We hit the weekly roadmap line. When you look at this, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have potentially one more lower to go. One more lower to go. All right. Enjoy. It has nothing to do with the news. That's the craziest part of this whole thing. For those who have been with me for years, does it have anything to do with the news? I predicted this whole move back last summer without, I said, it won't matter who wins the election. It won't matter what the news story is. This is what we're going to do. For those who've been with me, you can vouch for me, right? I mean, you go back and watch the videos from last summer. So, has nothing to do with the news. Absolutely. I mean, it's the mind-blowingest situation there is. So wherever this high is, we've got this high in place. Wherever this low is right here, this 618 zone in here is going to be critical, And now we've kind of put it right where that prior high was. So this is getting to be the perfect place for this to be. Right there. Hey, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber. Partner in crime. So that's the S&P 500 for you. The list is long today, so let's get a pitter patter. Let's get at her. How do we make money today? So the chart tells us how low we can go, and we do our best to figure it out. All right, that's I would be remiss as a guru if I wasn't warning you about the potential dangers of this situation. I feel like I have a moral responsibility to inform you of what might happen next. Funny enough, maybe I remember I drew that line on the chart right here at April 7th, April 8th as potentially the bottoming point. Wouldn't it be crazy? I mean, I thought we might reverse there, but wouldn't it be funny if that's the bottom instead of the top? I mean, funny to me. Not funny, haha, but funny like, you gotta be kidding me. I removed it off just for clarity because there's a lot of crap on here. See, we didn't do that move up thing I thought that I was given priority to when we were up here, but we glanced right off that daily roadmap line, kind of double hit it into the tariffs, and then flushed down the toilet. Can't fight the correction. It was there. I just was too dumb to believe it. Now, on the downside, the tell. This is getting into a bigger picture, all right? Let's take a few less waves. So this is the low I'm focused on right now. I know we're trying to get into how do we make money today. That's from back last finance. Great, you know. I didn't even zoom out far enough. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. This is the low I'm looking for right here. Great financial crisis. That low. Now, depending on how you look at it. Depending on how you look at it. Where was wave one? Maybe up into COVID? Was that all of wave one? From here to here? The retrace? That really fast? So it feels incomplete here. Whatever this last move was, which was probably from COVID here. This last piece of the move, like if this is 1, 2, yeah, I was kind of going through this yesterday. That feels incomplete. Kind of overlap here makes this a diagonal. So that high is important right there from 2022, early 2022. So we look at this move off the low, this move up, this move down. We didn't like if this was a, if this has all been a diagonal and this was the ending diagonal, or all a corrective type structure to finish this up with a diagonal, because diagonals are made up of corrective moves. We didn't hit the ideal level up here. Even on the non-log scale, we came up just shy. We got really freaking close. That final move would have been a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, or an ABC. And we would have just missed it. It feels undone at the top. That's why I'm so kind of adamant. And we don't usually end the last move with just an ABC. Like that's not usually when we're finishing up the end of a big long bull run. We don't usually just finish up with an ABC. So watching this, we're looking for I'm looking for that to be a final fifth move. That's why I'm optimistic still that we might see that final move. Once we do that, though, we're going to correct out this whole big piece, this whole big move up. This looks more clear on the S&P chart. I watch futures more than I watch anything else because it has the full picture. Whole picture. We get the overnight action and all that stuff. NQ, pretty much all the same setup. Now, I thought that might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it was, NQ could be done on the downside, although the fifth wave looks like it needs one more push lower. That was a lower high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then no overlap there. But we did overlap this high over here already. So this is starting to look a little more suspect on NQ. Russell. Wow. I don't even know where to start on Russell here. Like, we've got a lot going on here. We didn't do the retrace, at least not yet. Clear all the fib lines, clear the targets, clear all this stuff. So when we look at Russell, it's IWM. This is like where 85% of the country works. This is the small cap, medium cap companies. I've been talking about this for quite a while. That was corrective. That was probably corrective. I got a little, had a big question mark in my mind as we made a higher high. But that is okay if it's a B wave. Like, we can make a higher high in a B wave. This would be the A wave down. But the C wave is probably going to take us down here eventually. This could be the first move down. We get the wave 2, 3, 4, 5, and it could exceed this. We could see this stretching all the way down here. It's quite possible. Then once this first move down completes, we get the retrace right here. This is where I said the bigger opportunity potentially comes from in the market. On the short is IWM, potentially going down to 1200 on the next move from 2200. And it could come all the way down to triple digits. Oil getting a little bouncy bounce off of that target zone. Not much of a bounce. Next target down. If something else happens, there's the next target down right there. We've already kind of discussed geopolitical potential events and the crazy thing. Here's the crazy level. No way. That's the A. That's the B. Here's C. Back down at 20. It's possible we're done anywhere in here and we go ripping to a new high also. Remove a lot of these things out of here. We've talked about a lot of things. Doesn't matter anymore with the lower low. Right now, if we don't turn here, here's the next target right there. If we don't hold that, that's the next target right there. And the upside at this point is back to a 618 retest of the whole drop. Got to move this over to the lowest low. I told you, I was talking about the fact last week that we had some kind of divergence between CL and Brent. We have now resolved those differences between the two charts, brought them both into alignment. This is European oil, and the CL is West Texas Intermediate. And now we have resistance at the 618 zone going higher. On Brent, we have this breakdown level just down below us, right there, around 60, right around 60, I think it is. Yeah, right around 58, really, 58. So we may see further downside to 58. Why? There's a triangle. When triangles bust, we tend to go the full size of the beginning of the triangle, which would be right there. So that's the target zone. Triangles are almost always B waves. So if that was an A wave down, this was B wave, C wave down. Might bottom out anywhere in here. Now you'd be like, JT, this is not very descriptive and helpful. We're in the potential reversal zone here. 618 retrace. Save these charts. Maybe we can get it to stick. Now this one gets crazy because we went negative on oil, ran out of storage. So using that low is very difficult. Doesn't work on a not log scale. On the log scale, using, approximately 0. Look where the 618 comes out. Right there. Wouldn't surprise me one bit to see that drop right there and then rally off that level. GC. Some people think that we're done correcting gold. Be very careful right now. That looks like a 1. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4. May hit the roadmap line here. And we'll probably get a 5th wave move. This could develop into something more than what we got cooking here. We got the upside targets. You may be like, well, that looks like a 1, 2, and a 1, 2, and a 3. It could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 3. This be a 1, 2, 3, 4. Could come up as high as 30.74. As long as we're below that line right there, I'm still looking for one more flush at the minimum. Now, if we do a 5-wave down, we got to watch out for a 3-wave retrace. Let's put it right in here. Compare that to that and put it at the roadmap line a little bit lower. So this will be the danger zone right in here. If we make one more, like this is key right here. If we do this one more dip off of here, rally back, 1, 2, 3 retrace, sets up for a bigger potential downside. This could be an A, this could be a B, and we could see a C wave down that cooks us somewhere down to this level right there, which is the 2800 level I was talking about right there. That's gold for you in a nutshell right there. That's where I think we're going. That's why I have a spread on, looking for gold to go a little bit lower. Once we get here, we can start working on going higher. Bitcoin, just not doing the things I need it to do, like breaking out above the downtrend of highs. Now let's go to Bitcoin spot market. I didn't click on the all-time index. I've got a lot of stuff drawn on here. And we can simplify just a little bit. Still expecting this breakout, but it has to happen. Right now, we just made a lower low. So none of those targets that we already talked about matter anymore. We have to set up a whole new breakout off of this low. This low came down as close as I really want to see it to that high from March of 24. And we didn't step across. I need to see this. We're running out of room here. We're going to be completely out of room by the end of the month. We either got to step across this thing to the upside, or our Bitcoin rally hopes and dreams are going to get crushed. Do I want to see that? Not really. Looking for this to break out, and the breakout could be violent because this consolidation has been epically long. Epically long. So we can see a violent breakout right here. For those of you wondering why I haven't updated a trade like on Crypto Unleashed, I'm waiting for this to resolve. We're either going to break down or we're going to break out. The road is running out. We overlapped this high zone over here. Not looking good for doing any kind of rally up to crazy high levels. Just not. We're going to have to do something else, maybe down to 50,000 before we can come back up again. Ethereum, it walked right down to the line, didn't it? Holy moly. Poked the toe across the line. Not looking good, everybody. Telling you. Not looking good. This can very easily get down to the triple digits. I've warned about this for a couple months at least. That this was setting up here. Here we are. Won't take much to make a lower low. If we do that lower low, this could kick off potential upside. Looks like one big correction that hasn't finished up yet off of this high from back here in November 21, June 22 low, this high. Take your pick, whether it was this high in March or this high here in December. Both of those are lower than this high back here in 21. And we've set up the fact that we probably need to go visit a low lower than this June 22 low. Sometimes I hate being right, especially if your name is David. That looks like what we might do. NKD made a lower low. This was all just one big correction. When we couldn't break out, I was very afraid that we might do that, and that's what we did. I should have taken that warning sign right there. Coming into the tariff thing that we were going to do the epic crash. I was so caught up in my own rhetoric. I made a mistake. Right there. Potential for the finishing move if we do one more lower low. Potential right down there. Could extend further. I don't necessarily expect it right now. Looking like we're finishing up that right there. Dollar. Not really showing much enthusiasm, but looks like we may come back to retest this before we take the next move down. Now, that's what it looks like. But when we do the fib line off of that high to this low, we're sitting at the 618. This may be the top. And we may get the next extension down on the dollar here. That next extension down would look something like 1, 2, probably down to this level right here, right around 100. Look at all these targets we had sitting over here. Probably make that extension, maybe even come down to 97, bounce back up, and get the final move out of that one. Euro USD, take a look real quick. And that's... I was expecting to come back to the roadmap line, but at this point, we could go on an extension here. This could be a 1, 2. We might be set for another pop. Get up to $1.15. Everybody's saying the Euro trade's played out, so this would be a perfect screw the world situation here for that to rally on higher. Let's see. Dollar yen. That looks ripe for that. Let's clean this up. That high, that low, that move. Actually, we're going to tighten this up just a little bit on the target. It's like that move right there would be... And that went a little... Looks like where we might go to right there. Although, we are holding the 618, so the potential upside... So how do we know if we break out above roughly here? Probably going up here. Break down below here. Probably coming down here. That's where that level came from that I drew. How did I know where that was? I've done Fibonacci enough that I know where the level is. So here's the levels right there for, again, if we break above 153, probably going up. If we break down below 143, probably coming down. All right, GME. Oh, baby. I may have... So years ago, my dad was like, buy me some shares. I want to see if we make this epic pop. I was like, all right, Pop, you sure? Yeah. Put me $1,000 on it. Cool. We've sat in that trade through the reverse split, or through the split over here. We've sat in that trade for all the time. I put a spread on for him right here. A couple contracts. And now he's got his money back. We're back to positive on this trade. Took a while. I may go close it. If it breaks on out through that downtrend of highs, back up into the 30s area, it makes a lot of money. But I might close it anyway. Can't quit fighting them. Sometimes you got to keep fighting them. How do I know how to do that sort of stuff? Years of practice at this. Years and years of practice. Humana under the roadmap line. Potential to go lower still. I'm not sure we're done. This correction, I'm just not sure. It's possible. We came right back down almost to the COVID lows. Actually, that may have been the COVID low. Let's see. It's going to be really freaking close. Just slightly above. This looks like to me, we want to go right down below the COVID low on Humana. Elevant, wow, look at all this healthcare right up on top. Safe Haven, I don't know. That's 3 waves up. Be careful. Potential to make this into something more bullish. it got to a level that might tilt it more bullish, but there's only 3 waves intact. Might take a move like that to confirm we're going higher. Until we do that, there's still a possibility we come back to the lows. UNH, talk about a reversal. Holy moly. We tapped the target right down there. I would be very cautious on this chart. It's a dangerous setup. That was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One fast move. If you love to play shorts, this could be a short setup. I could be wrong. If you're the type person that just likes these kind of things, we could see a move right down here. If you like to gamble in the market, this is the gamble we have set up right now. Yes, we got up to extreme level. If we step, like this is the low risk thing. We get above 590. I'm going to say 595. We get above 595, probably not going to work. Or at least not fast. As long as we stay under 595, here's your potential. Do a spread on this baby. Something crazy. Check this out. Oh, look at that IV. Could do a 1 year out. I like the fact they put these on here now. So we're looking at 1 year out. We're looking for something like a buy a 500, maybe even buy a 450. What was the downside? 350. So 500, 400. That'd be a reasonable. You would buy this at 20, you know, what would that be? About 19 bucks. Buy 19 bucks. Sell the 400, or maybe 500. You can get it for 7 bucks. Buy 500, sell the 400. Maybe you don't even want to sell the 400, but that was like 4 bucks. Wow. Actually, let me pull that up on a live chart, live chain. Give me a second. See if I can get into a live chain. This is interesting to me. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if it's interesting to you. These kind of opportunities don't show up every day. I mean, lately they're showing up a lot, but I like this kind of thing. Let's see, UNH. And we're going to... Cool, where are the... There we go. Live chain. Turn off April. March 26th, out a year. Gets us into the lower IV. So we're looking at... We're going to buy this one. Going to sell this one. Whew. Still pretty pricey. 44 to play. Yeah, the prices weren't live. Let's go 480, 380. See if that gets any better. 36. That's a, you know, it's an $8 less risk. So 4,000. So you're risking 4,000 to potentially make 100,000, or turn that into 100,000. That's a 20xer. Yeah, 22xer. Yeah, right there, the risk to reward. $82,000 profit, risk 3,600. Not a bad potential. I mean, it's got to work out. But like I said, if it goes above 95, GTFO, and you probably won't lose much money. Right there. I like it. Might have to see if I have an account that can do that. Actually, I can do it for my dad. He likes those kind of plays. Let's see. Go throw this into my stuff channel. Discord. I like that one right there. So, all right. There's an opportunity. And the pricing just not. Oh, that's because it jumped back to May instead of March. That's what happened. There we go. So 480, 380. Not bad. Let me know in the chat if you like it. I like it. So, bye. Yeah. Need a buy sell. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm not placing the order because that account has no money. Yeah. So 480, 380, something like that. 480, 380. Looking for that drop. Right there. So I don't trade live. I just, I can't look at everything. 480, buy, and yeah. That gets it way down to, $2. So you could do a 500, 400. Possibly. $22. Yeah, let me pull that back over. If I'd add the sell up there, sell at the 400. Potentially 22, snapshot analysis. Come on now. Yeah, 3-1 on that one. Not great. Yeah, 36 on that high one. 18, better. 5-1. Yeah. Yeah, heck, it might just be just as good to buy. Look at that. I mean, you'd have to go to 0, but 46-1. What happens if we go down to 350? $13,000. That's not bad. 700% return. Even still, if you bought, that's not like, it's not going to be too crazy. That second one doesn't kick in until we're way down there. $1,800. Still nice potential. I like it. All right, there's like 200 tickers on here. Let's see. FNGA, not great. Netflix, potential bounce here. Have to move over the. Yeah, it did a 1, 2, 3. We're up in the vicinity. That one's actually looking like it's done. That might be done. Correcting Netflix. And we're looking for 1,100 on the upside. Spotify, hit the roadmap line. That one also might be done. Giant opportunity on Spotify for 678. Lily, that might be done. Finally. It's been a long, nasty correction. The fake out right up here. 1,000 potential on Lily. Costco, that's potentially 5 down. Extreme caution advised. If we rally back up, that's another setup like UNH. GS. Potential for that to be done. Oh, that puts that fib in the right spot. Watch for that to break out. Potentially go higher. AppLovin. Still potential downside. Meta. Wow. You overlap the prior breakout. That's not good. Not good at all. See, we got a bigger picture. Now the warning here is that we might have to go retest that breakout. Not good. Close. So if we do one more flush in the market, watch for that to touch that area and then bounce. Berk B. That was an epically fast. You know, out of the billionaires, the main top billionaires, old Warren Buffett's the only one that's added, what do you call it? Personal wealth this year. He's added like $12 billion to his personal wealth, while virtually every other billionaire in the top 20 has dropped. He's the only green billionaire, and he's about to cross above Bill Gates. He's about to be worth more money than Bill Gates. Craziness. Opportunity for the upside right there. GE Veranova. Tag the targets. Potential to reverse that one. That actually looks like a good spot, but that's 5 down. Does overlap. I'd pass on that for now. Pass on that opportunity. VGT. Whew. We overlap that high. Not sure. Now, well, back testing that high. Yeah, that doesn't even look like it's in the right spot. I think now is setting up for a further down decline. CRWD. Nice potential. Holding that 618. That could put the target up here at 600. ASML. That's a potential buy right there with a stop below the low. Stop out below 580. And right now, the first target is that roadmap line. Right around 750. 750. Can't grab that. There it is. And then resistance at 900. Got it. Anybody doubt me on that one? You can let me know. I mean, if you doubted me that we were going to get that target, I was pretty adamant about it. I may buy a share just to ride it back up. We could potentially ride all the way back up there. IVV. Nasty. PTIR. Let's see how our buddy PTR. Oh, look at there. Yesterday. I know several people were doubting we were going to hit the roadmap line. Look at that. Look at that. Wrong number. I hope you got out. Nailed it. Potential to go lower, but that nailed it. That was it. Deck. No sign of a bottom. Arm. Looky, looky, looky. Got the target. Damn. Took a while. We got it. Quit talking about that. There's still potential to break down below that and go lower. But that's support right now. As long as we stay over it, we can go to new highs. If we break down below it, we're coming down here. Oracle. I don't know, man. That still has downside potential. Not a reversal yet. Pan W. Palo Alto Networks. Downside potential. Looky here. Made the lower low. Nvidia might be done. That might be rallying. Oh, I did a trade on this one. XOXL. I bought a call yesterday at 10. Just looking for this to pop a little bit. Maybe back up to 20. MS. Maybe done. That's a perfect place for that actually looks pretty nice. We may see an outsized pop on earnings from Morgan Stanley. Are you a gambler? Like JPM. That one could see an outsized pop. We have the potential for an outsized pop on financials. That one could see an outsized pop. Yeah, we might see a rip on financials. Didn't know we were getting the final flush out, but targets are all still valid. That one extended it, but this with the 3x leverage can come back very quickly. Now the target's up to 200 on this one. You got enough time, hopefully. AVGO. Man. That's potentially 5 down. Not looking good for continuation higher. Key resistance level right now, right there around 210. If we rally back up there, watch for the next leg down. I know I skipped a bunch of stuff. MSTR back below the roadmap line. Danger, danger, danger. We made that move yesterday. We're back under the trend line. That can very easily flush down to 200. Maybe it was just I mean, this trend line moves around so much. Maybe we're just back testing that trend line. I don't like it. The grind, this is the hardest trend line to get in the right spot. It moves around so much because the dang thing moves around so much. There, we got 3, 4, 5 highs. Ignore that spike. Trend lines are the loosest of technical analysis. Just throwing that out there. There we go. That's even better. That high, 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 those lows, and we poked below it. Warning sign. That's a warning. Red flag. Danger on the play. We might come down to 200. Home Depot, potentially 5 down. The 5th doesn't look done, though. Potential more downside. TLN, very overlapping 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like it. Tesla made a slightly lower low, so nothing we've drawn so far off the low matters at this point. And that can complete A, B, C with a long 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need this to break back through the roadmap line. Retest it to be bullish. And if we start breaking down below this, watch out below. Toyota Motors. Well, that worked. Potential bounce. We're going to have to break back above 200 to go higher on Toyota. There'll be potential more downside. Be careful. SPXL, Bulls, leverage. Visa, potential bottom in place. This would be a buy for me. 375 upside target. MasterCard, samey. Be a buy with a almost $600 upside. Caterpillar, no clear path. ISRG, I'm skipping around, yes. 5 down, be careful. Watch for a rejection of the 544 level in line with other other healthcare stuff right there. Oh, cool. No, I don't want to upgrade my mic right now. Watch for that resistance and bigger downside. So, what did I say about UNH? Yeah. And let's see. Royal Caribbean. I don't like that. I don't like that. Potential for further downside on Royal Caribbean. BX went a little extreme. I don't know. That could bounce from here, but I would be very careful. Holy beep. So Amazon could be done. Like it tagged the top of that bubble. Holy sugar. How'd I do that? I surprised myself. So there's potential now in place. Now it may go. We could get one more lower low. Dang. This is it. I have goosebumps. I don't believe I got it. I just, I don't know. I don't know, everybody. This could set up the move to 300 for Amazon. BA. Oh, we made a lower low. False start. That, I don't know if that's done yet. We may break the pattern to the downside. Root. I'll have to look at that more later. Root. What's going on here? We went a little higher than I thought we would, and we haven't retraced. Watch for that one to retrace. That may reject much harder, swifter. LIN, chop it around. Let's see if there's any decliners that present any opportunity. No. It's all just leverage stuff. XOM. No. SMCI. Be careful. This can get the bigger move down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. S-Bucks. Starbucks got hit. Potential low, potential high. Danger. It can break the pattern here. And targets holding up well, but might have further decline to go. Rose and Twilio. Nice. Retested the breakouts. That could be set to rally from here. Watch for a break above 120 to get up into this area around 190. All right. I have my request show 5 p.m. today. Come see me. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I've been digging through, looking for opportunities, and I'll throw anything out in Discord that I find. Otherwise, have a good day. We'll see you later.